checking into the Vegas Trump Tower, I was summoned up to his suite to discuss the day's events. Trump was in his underwear, white Hanes briefs, and a white short-sleeve undershirt, watching cable news on television. He barely seemed to register that it was unusual for a grown man to be in a state of undress in front of an employee, but there it was. On this occasion, Trump was fresh from the shower and he hadn't done his hair yet, as it was still air drying. When his hair wasn't done, his strands of dyed golden hair reached below his shoulders along the right side of his head and on his back, like a balding Allman Brother or strung-out old 60s hippie. I called his plane Hair Force One for good reason. Trump doesn't have a simple comb-over, as it would appear. The operation was much more involved than a simple throw-over of what was left of his hair. The three-step procedure required a flop-up of the hair from the back of his head, followed by the flip of the resulting overhang on his face back on his pate, and then the flap of his comb-over on the right side, providing 3 layers of thinly disguised balding male insecurity. The concoction was held in place by a fog of Tresemme, Trez 2, not a high-end salon product. Flip, flop, flap. And there was the most famous comb-over in the world. The real reason for the extravagant and obvious overcompensation for his baldness was vanity, and the desire to appear younger and more vigorous than he was. But there was another unknown reason. He was hiding unsightly scars on his scalp from a failed hair implant operation in the 1980s. That was the disfiguring operation that resulted in his furious, emotional rape of his first wife, Ivana, as she documented in a lawsuit in the early 90s. Like Samson, Trump believed his virility and image were harmed if he was seen to be losing his hair, or even worse, injuring himself in an attempt to disguise male pattern balding. If Trump let strangers see the red sores on his scalp, he would appear to be vulnerable, even pitiable, not the unstoppable sex god alpha male billionaire he wanted to present to the world, and himself.